Give me you. Everything else can wait. Give me you. I hope I'm not.
Y'all, I done been to a whole lot of churches, but in my 23 years of living, I ain't never heard nobody explain this story the way I'm about to explain it to y'all. Now, I'ma just warn you before we get going. This here is some pretty deep water, so don't be surprised if you feel like it's coming for your neck. But if you think you're ready, let's dive in. So in John chapter 5, Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem for a festival. But on his way there, he stopped at this pool called Bethesda. Now, this wasn't no regular swimming pool. This pool is where several disabled people, including the blind, lame, and the paralyzed, would all lie and wait for the water to be stirred so they could be healed. See what I mean? You done already missed something. Notice the quality of people that surrounded this pool. They were all disabled. So in other words, they were only close because they were dealing with the same dysfunction. And while you may be thinking this has nothing to do with you, let me show you why it does. There are 3 different struggles in this story, and you probably relate to all 3. The text tells us that these people are blind, lame, or paralyzed. So let me break this down for you. There is a group of people who are really close, but only because they either blind, meaning they don't have a vision for where they're going, they lame, meaning they haven't been the same since they got hurt, or they paralyzed, meaning in some area of their life they have been living in a state of stagnation without any evidence of progression. See, y'all finna make me cut up, but what's my point here? My point is, this is exactly how some of your friendships are. You're not actually friends with them. You just struggle with the same sin, but you call them family because you see familiar. And just like these disabled people, you've been struggling with it so long, you've now created a community that's content with complacency. Verse 5 says, one who was there had been paralyzed for 38 years. So in other words, time was moving, but he wasn't. So when Jesus saw him lying there, after learning how long he had been in this condition, he asked him a simple question: do you want to get well? Now I know what you may be thinking. Why would he ask this man a question like that? Like, of course he wants to get well, or does he? See, Jesus asked this question for a reason, and it wasn't just to hear this man's projection. It was also to show you a self-reflection. Here's what I mean. Jesus was speaking to a person who had been in the same place for so long, it seemed as though he had become comfortable in his condition. And although God wants what's best for you, he won't force what's best on you. Now watch how the man responds. He says, "Sir, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. When I'm trying to get in, someone goes down ahead of me." Now, why is that important? Because you got to remember, God is an all-knowing God. So when he asks a question, it's not for him to find the answer. It's for you to discover the problem. And the problem here is, you don't think he did anything wrong because you probably do the same thing yourself. Here's the problem. Jesus asked if he wanted to get well, but heard every reason as to why he hadn't. So he asked a yes or no question, but got an excuse for a response. And instead of accepting his excuse, he submitted a solution. He told him to get up, pick up his mat, and walk. But hold on, something in the water ain't clean. Because didn't we just read that the pool was how they got healed? We did. But here, the Bible is attempting to articulate that God can bless you in a way that nobody around you has ever experienced. But just like this man, it's going to require you to stop associating yourself with people who can't see you hurting and refuse to see you healthy.
Hey family, and welcome back to the channel. Now that was so amazing. The analogy that he gave, I just had to share it. When I saw it, I was like, download, I gotta share this with my fam, because I thought that it was just so such an amazing word. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts were, and if you really enjoyed it, if you got the message like I did. Family, well, today we are finally getting to these Christmas decorations, and when I tell you, your girl was struggling, okay? I had to watch me some movies. I had to just get myself in the mood, and I was sitting there watching a nice Christmas movie. I was watching some Christmas YouTube videos, and then I got inspired to get up and get this done. Okay, so my biggest thing was going to the storage and pulling all of these containers this out, but I finally did it. So guys, you know that I said I did not want to do traditional, or let's say use the burgundy colors of this year, because I used them last year. So for me, it was kind of outdated, okay? So this year I wanted to go very minimalistic, but use a lot of light and create this festive looking Christmas, but be in a minimalistic way. So this is how I created it. Let me know, guys, if you like it. Let me know how it turned out. You're going to see a lot of lights, so stay tuned to the end and let me know what you think about my white Christmas that I created in my space. Okay, family, here comes the end of today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for staying until the end. And before anyone comes for me, those tall tapered candles that are lit on my coffee table, they were only lit for this video. Tomorrow is my birthday and I'm having a girls' night this coming weekend, so you guys will see how I really set the candles. They will be in some glass jars. They will be floating candles. The floating candles did not arrive for today's video, so that's why I wasn't able to set the mood how I wanted to. But guys, let me know down in the comments how you enjoy all the different tablescapes that I created to create this minimal look that I wanted in my space, and for it not to be trendy. Okay, so this is my way of creating that festive feel for the holidays in my space. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Always remember, never let your budget dictate your style, but create a space that you love. Design for life.